before this year ends, here are some 5 things I would like to see improve for the autistic and disability community. Number 5, I would like to see more disability empowerment groups led towards I need to close my door so I don't disturb my granddad. Okay, I'm back now. Number 5, back to what I was saying. Number 5, I like to see more disability enrichment and empowerment groups and inclusive groups also led towards actually helping disabled people actually helping with college and finding work rather than just sending them to rather than having some groups that send disabled people to the movie theaters, the Special Olympics, or sending them basic field trips that we go on during elementary or middle school. I want to see disabled people actually have leadership in the disability community rather than being excluded, because if there are no disabled people in the disability community, then there will be nothing about them without them, and that's what I like to see, is have disability groups led towards actually leadership, empowerment, employment, and independence. And there's actually a few good groups such as Autism Network International, Autism Campus Inclusion, that actually has summer programs to help autistic people with college, finding a job, and independence. So that's what I think. That's what number 5 is. Number 4, I would want to see I would like to see the ban of alternative treatments such as ABA, chelation, oxytocin, dangerous biomedical therapies that biomedical and psychological therapies that promote actually more harm and trying to remove autistic behaviors rather than learning how to cope with them. Because ABA is actually akin to dog training. They don't want you to stim. They said if they catch you sitting, they actually hold your hand and say no stim. It's just the same as dog training, when you're trying to tell a dog to sit and just point a picture and in that type of sense. And they actually feed you a chip if you actually do good behavior, which really doesn't make that much sense to us, and it's more of a sense of normalization rather than trying to help us cope with autistic behaviors. Because I want to actually see some treatments where you actually learn how to communicate and learn how to empower yourself rather than try to make you normal. Well, with dangerous therapies such as ABA or chelation, and doctors shouldn't be. And that's the reason why I don't really like doctors, because many of their treatments they recommend are usually dangerous drugs such as oxytocin, melatonin, dangerous medications that actually can have a lot of side effects, male breast growth, heart, increased blood pressure, increased heart rate. I think with autism treatment, we should be empowering more services towards helping them with school independence and work, and giving them the respect and dignity they need to help them go through college. Because I can understand if some autistics are epileptic, but epilepsy really isn't a part of autism, and so gastrointestinal issues, because they can be common in autism, but it's not a symptom. It's just that it can happen with neurotypical too, and I can understand that some of these might need dietary restrictions and medications, because epilepsy, I can understand that some people can die from that, and my Uncle Steve was an epileptic, and he had seizures and was diabetic also. So I I don't really want to see I just want to ban the use of drugs, medications, and unethical therapy. These for autistics. So that's my number 4 thing. Number 3 thing I want to see is, okay, what would number 3 be? Build more I like to see more college groups on campus actually built for and by disabled people, because some of the disability groups in there, like I was looking at the UT's disability group, such as UT, the University of Texas at Austin's Student Council for Exponential Children. They have no disabled people whatsoever on that group. Like, if you want a student council for special needs people, the majority of members have to have special needs in there, and that's what I think needs to happen at college campuses. Is that I think we need to help build disability empowerment groups led for and by disabled people to help disabled people not only finish their college degrees, but help empower but actually help empower the community actually empower other disabled students to go to college and help them achieve their dreams on doing what they're doing, instead of having them being put into like vocational schools after high school. Because vocational rehabilitation schools, I've heard some of these places, like, they actually use sheltered workshops, which are actually really pointless, and so we can actually learn how to like fold envelopes, close lids, and can actually find a job with the right tools. But vocational schools, 4-year vocational school, is just too repetitive and doesn't allow empowerment, but mostly focus on like normalizing disabled people just as a daycare, rather than help them go to college. Um, I I plan on I've actually contemplated on actually starting a disability empowerment group at UT, at not UTSA. I'll be going there like in a year or two, but actually like Northwest Vista. I actually have been thinking about starting a disability group up there led for and by disabled people, and helping empower disabled students through college, and helping them achieve their dreams at life, no matter their no matter their no matter how many limitations they have. And that's my number 3 thing. Number 2 is abolishing the use of group homes and institutions. I don't really like group homes and institutions because you don't get much freedom there. It's like every time you're like a time card, and you're being forced to do everything at once. Like you're just forced to like play with drums, or just hang out with the people that you don't know about, and you're forced to go like the grocery stores, McDonald's, Special Olympics, forced to go to swimming, movies, like doing basic social skills that we've probably already learned, probably getting help with like occupational or speech therapy. I just think group homes don't allow freedom, and it costs a lot of money to be in there, and you don't really get much freedom. You don't get much time to do what you want to do as an adult. And group homes, they're also notorious for abuse. Like if you want, like I remember one one mother whose autistic son was put in there and abused. Her name was CDF Oakley, aka Kim Oakley. Her autistic son Jamie was placed in a group home, and she was abused. He was abused in there, and she decided she needed to pull him out because she was having a hard time taking care of her, and she. And I know it's not easy to say, well, no, we have like a lot of challenges, like supports and services, especially when only 4% of that money, which I'm going to be talking about with number one later on, but there isn't much money invested into like independent living services for like disabled people, like having assisted caregivers, LVNs, nursing staff that can actually help disabled people when they have, especially those that are like nonverbal or have a lot of limitations that they need help with, and they get their own place and need that money invested into. And I think with number two, I think we should be allowing. Excuse me, sorry about that. I think with number two, we should be investing our money into helping disabled people. Having a system where within their own place, and when they have their own independence and having their own guardianship, and getting the help they need to actually have these have a system like LVN and caregive just help them out with their basic tasks, whether they're going to work, going to school, basically and getting them help anywhere. It's like rather than being segregated in a group home or institution where they're like where they have absolutely no freedom and where they're being treated like a little kid rather than being treated as an adult. So, and now for the number one thing is abolishing Autism Speaks. Yep. The number one thing I would like to see is Autism Speaks being shut down for good. It may not happen this year, but it's going to happen eventually, because Autism Speaks, even after their call to action at DC, they've been getting a lot of controversy over their one of their founders, Suzanne Wright, who said that autistic people were not living but merely existing, and that we were in despair, and that that parents were petrified about what we could be doing next, and as if we were like running around, laying in bed. And basically, she calls us all a national tragedy. Tragedy when we just run around up and down the stairs, jump up and just try to ravage through the fridge. I mean, everybody's gonna have meltdowns. So if we all feel like that one way or another, I mean, yeah, it's not easy to handle meltdowns, especially for us being autistic. But we have to find and we can find ways to cope with that. But calling it a national tragedy, a burden, is just really hurtful and stigmatizing to us. And what I would like to see is for the media to get a glimpse of why Autism Speaks is evil, and why, and get national attention for the boycott Autism Speaks movement, because I would like to see some news coverage on that instead of like stories with like Miley Cyrus or like other things also, and with like other celebrities also. I like to see some coverage of like what's going on with like the autistic community, and understand why Autism Speaks is now evil, and why they've only put 4% of their money into services, rather than when most of their money is going towards their salaries and prenatal testing to abolish us from the face of the earth. I think that's what the news needs to cover, is something about why Autism Speaks is a bad company, and that's pretty much it. Um, have a happy 2014. I'll be seeing you later on. By the way, I need to figure out how to. I need to figure out how to get this. Jesus Christ.